All right, the next process in solving equations as it gets more and more complicated from one step into growing into other things is next we are going to work on what happens when we have a distributive property when we have to solve equations. So to start, we are going to review some distributive property problems, expressions here. Remember, distributive property only works if you're multiplying. So if I had a little plus sign there or a subtraction sign or a divided sign, it does not work. You cannot distribute that. Distributive is only multiplication. So when you distribute a number, you distribute it through the first and the second. All right, so now we are multiplying. So this is like saying 5 times 3x plus 5 times 7. That's writing it all out. So then from there we do that. So 5 times 3x is 15x plus 5 times 7 is 35. And that's our simplified expression. So let's do the same thing here. We are going to multiply through the first, the second, and the third. We always multiply through all of our terms. So here, it's like saying 4 times 6x plus 4 times 8y plus 4 times 3. And then we simplify. 4 times 6x gives us 24x, and 4 times 8y gives us 32y, and 4 times 3 gives us 12. Do we have any like terms here? We don't, because x and y are different variables, and 12 does not have a variable at all. Next, we'll do a more complicated problem. So again, we have to multiply through everything. But notice here that there's a little subtraction sign here. That means what we do here is different from what we do here. There are two sets of distributive properties in this problem. So let's do that. We have 2 times 5x, 2 times 3, and now remember this negative is attached to this 4. If we lose negatives in this case, it's going to give us the wrong answer. So we want to make sure that we are saying or you can rewrite it as plus a negative 4, which in this case then you won't forget to distribute the negative through. So we have negative 4 times 6x, negative 4 times negative 1. Let's write all of that out. So we have 2 times 5x plus 2 times 3 plus negative 4 times 6x plus negative 4 times negative 1. I'm putting the negative 4 in parentheses so we don't lose negative signs there. So let's simplify this down. We have 2 times 5x is 10x plus 2 times 3 is 6 plus negative 4 times 6x is a negative 24x, and then plus a negative 4 times a negative 1 is a positive 4, so plus 4. So then the last thing we have to do is clean up everything. We have to combine our like terms. So we have 10x and negative 24x are our like terms, so we get negative 14x. And then we have a positive 6 and a positive 4, so we get plus 10. There were a lot of steps to that. It's just taking some simplified ones, something like what we did here, and we are making it a little bit more complicated by adding extra things to distribute, all of that, and then we're just cleaning up the pieces to get it down to a clean expression. So the last thing we're going to do in this video is we are going to do some examples. So we have to multiply through, so 7 times x, 7 times negative 2, and I stop there because that's all that's in those parentheses, and then there's an equal sign, which isn't multiplication, so we just stop. So we have 7 times x plus 7 times negative 2. Then we just carry this down. It's equal to 7. That's a lot of 7s. So 7 times x gives us 7x. Plus 7 times negative 2 is a negative 14 equals 7. And now we're back down to just solving 1 and 2 step equations, which we've been practicing for a while. You can see why we started with those. So we add 14, and negative 14 plus 14 gives us 0, so we have 7x is equal to 7 plus 14 is 21. And then the opposite of multiplication, because we have a number right next to a variable, implies multiplication. We divide by 7, divide by 7. This leaves us with x. 21 divided by 7 is 3. So again, that's just taking something that is complicated and messy and then simplifying it down into something we know how to do because we've been doing it for the past few lessons, which is 1 and 2 step equations. The last example we're going to do is going to get into the idea of combining everything we've learned. How to distribute, how to combine your like terms, your multi-step, and your single-step equation. So here it is. We're going to multiply through. Notice how I stopped the 5 here because there's a plus sign, which implies we're not multiplying the 5 through anymore. We are multiplying the 2 through now. So we have 5 times x plus 5 times 3 plus, now we have 2 times x plus 2 times negative 6. Carry the rest down equals 10. Oh, I ran out of room there. All right, so let's multiply those through. So we have 5x plus 5 times 3 is 15 plus 2x plus 2 times a negative 6 is minus 12 or negative 12 is equal to 10. Let's combine our like terms. So we have our x's and our constants. So we get 5x plus 2x is 7x. 15 minus 12 is equal to 3. Carry the rest down. It's equal to 10. Now we're down to our multi-step equations again. Oopsies. So then we go minus 3 to cancel out here. What we do to one side, we do to the other. So we're left with 7x is equal to 7. And our final step, we'll do that in black again. We have multiplication here because it's a number next to a variable. We divide by 7, divide by 7. We are left with x equals 1. All right, so this is not as complicated as it gets. We will go on to variables on both sides in the next video, which will incorporate more of our combining like terms using distributive property. But right now, this is as far as it gets for complication with variables on one side. Let me know if you have any questions.